let's get started. And I'm thankful for our guest, Chandamadan, to be joining us today. He's a familiar face for some of you already who have been attending a lot of sessions with us and are connected with the Nursify team or the eAge team already. Without a further ado, thank you so much, Chandamadan, for joining us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
So a brief introduction of my guest today. And he's a familiar face for some of you on the list today because quite a few of you have been joining and following Team Nursify already. So you know him. But then those of you who are joining us new, it would take me a lot of time to cover his entire career experience. But in a jiffy, I'll just let you know a little summary about him. He comes with 35 plus years experience in general management and financial management. Chandamadan today is on the board of multiple ventures. He is running 2 of his own ventures as well. Nursify is closer to his heart at this point in time. He's very actively working in healthcare segment, and it's a known brand today in most of the countries like UK, Canada, US, Dubai, you name it, and we are there now. So from our team side, we understood that there is a larger audience who has a lot of questions about moving to UK. UK is becoming hot favorite. That's the reason why I have requested Chanda sir to come on board and talk to our audience and give them the guidance and clear the myth that people have about various obstacles that they feel that they are going to face if they are moving to UK. So thank you so much, sir, for agreeing to answer some of our questions.
Thank you.
Great. So without a further ado, I would just begin and directly ask certain very pertinent questions. So the very first thing that comes to a lot of people's mind when they're thinking about immigrating abroad today, UK is one of those destinations which is very, very sought after for multiple reasons, as you would definitely share with the audience. But I think it is offering quite a few good job opportunities, and it's a lovely country to be in. However, people do have inhibitions. They don't understand how do I get to move, if I'm choosing UK as a destination for my future from career perspective. Could you clarify that, what are the steps involved in the UK immigration process, just on a broad level, sir?
Sure. So I think the requirements may be different if you are moving for studies or jobs. But let me just focus on the jobs. And I'll take the example of, most of the healthcare jobs. For variety of jobs, there is a huge requirement and demand from UK in various sectors, both skilled and unskilled. But let me just focus on healthcare, where the demand is very, very high, and the visa process is very, very easy for the healthcare, to specialty nurses, doctors, and to some extent applies to other jobs which are shortage in skill in United Kingdom. So for those, the process is very simple. Usually, for example, for a nursing job, the nurse need to have should have completed a bachelor's in nursing or diploma. They should be registered with the nursing council in their own country, like whether you come from India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, wherever you're coming from. So the nursing council registration from your country and the nursing and midwifery council in UK as an example. So I would say generally for any licensed profession, you need to be registered with the respective regulatory body. In this case, for nursing, it's Nursing and Midwifery Council, UK. So you need to have the registration, you need to have the required degree or diploma. Of course, you need to have a valid passport. And if you have all of these prerequisites, if you meet all of these prerequisites, and of course, you need to have a sponsorship of an employer for you to hire. And this is where you can reach out to Nursify, where we can help you get screened, filtered, and interviewed with the respective hospitals. So once the employer selects you, they'll also give you a certificate of sponsorship. So your educational qualification degree or diploma, the respective council registration for your own country, and NMC UK for healthcare jobs. Similarly, if you're a lawyer, you need to go and register with respective professional bodies. Of course, a passport and a sponsorship letter from an employer to hire you. Typically for nurses, for healthcare professionals, it's very fast. And, typically for healthcare professionals, the visa process is very, very fast. And the certificate of sponsorship will come in very quickly. Once that is done, a typical visa process from the certificate of sponsorship will take about no more than 2 to 3 weeks. But these are the very simple requirements for you to apply for a visa for UK. Hope this helps.
That's great, sir. Definitely. You've shared an insight for most of the different kind of people who are joining us today. Specifically, just as Sir has already mentioned, for healthcare, NMC is a registration body. You'll have to see that, whichever profession you are related to, if there's a registration body with whom you should be associated. We can give you a little bit of guidance, but yes, Nursify is working in specific in the healthcare segment. However, sir, so you mentioned that a job offer or sponsorship is also required. Is it mandatory? It is important for one to have it every time that anyone and everyone who's planning to move to UK?
Yeah, so definitely. I think one more thing I wanted to add before I go to this job offer is that for anybody who's moving to UK, one of the major requirement is the English proficiency requirement, which is either IELTS, academic or general. If you're going for studies or if you're going for nursing jobs, you need IELTS. And for healthcare jobs, IELTS academic is required, and especially for registered nurse. If you're going for care home, of course, you don't need it. You don't need the IELTS academic. It's mostly general that's required. Or UKVI course is also applicable, and you need the OET or OET English exam is required. In terms of, I think the second part of your question was, is the COS required, right? And definitely, I think without the sponsorship, the immigration to UK is rather. So certificate of sponsorship basically confirms that an institution in UK is sponsoring you. So whether you're going for studies, a college will sponsor you, and they will issue a COS. If you're going for the name for academic COS is slightly different. It's called UCAS under the UCAS system. And for the job, a certificate of sponsorship is definitely required from the employer. So that sponsorship will get you to UK very fast. Otherwise, the other routes to going to UK without a sponsorship are very, very, I won't say, I won't say very easy, but it is rather a longer process. Okay, there are other options possible through entrepreneurship route, through innovation route, but if you're looking specifically for a job, it's going to be you need a COS, certificate of sponsorship. The other last but not the least is for registered nurses job. The IELTS
at last
proficiency standards are very, very high, which means for you to be able to find a job in UK, you need to have a band score of IELTS 7 for all the component, and the writing skills, of course, can be 6.5, but rest has to be at least 7. Yeah. So the requirements are on English side are very, little strict, because especially in the healthcare segment, they want to make sure that you understand the accent and understand the language, because you'll be dealing with, healthcare issues in someone's life. So, you want to be able to understand, the accent and the language. Yeah? All right.
Okay, sir. Sure. Of course. So you have made it plenty clear that, yes, COS is imperative, right? In whichever area that we are looking to migrate, I mean, whether healthcare or any other sector, COS is mandate. And in terms of examination, quite a few people are already pinging and asking the question. And I believe Chandra sir has already given you a little fair bit of idea. IELTS for the rest of the professions, but OET, if you are a healthcare professional, will be the exam for you to go for. And he's also explained the scoring. So I believe some of those questions do get answered there. UK VI general training is necessary or not? Sangeeta is asking in specific. There is a UK VI version 2 IELTS exam. Okay. However, Sangeeta, if you are a nurse, are you in the healthcare segment, then in that case, OET is the exam that you should be focusing on. So if you are either you're already cleared, and if you haven't cleared it, then yes, Team Nursify has an engagement with eAgeTutor, and we have trained professionals who can help you clear this exam, help you prepare for it. So for healthcare professionals, it's OET. For IELTS, we have already let you know. And for healthcare professionals, 350 plus score. And so is there any other specific band that they are supposed to attain in OET? Healthcare professionals?
So if you're going as a registered nurse, registered nurse, you a band B in speaking, reading, and listening, and for writing can be C+, and IELTS 7, as I said, overall, and listening, reading, and speaking 7, and writing can be 6.5. Now, some people have applied for, some people apply for care home jobs. Those are different. And if you are a care home job, then I think a score of 4.5 or 5 is also good. Okay, but it has to be IELTS academic. Yeah, and for UK VI, if you're taking a test for registered nurse, it has to be 7.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the other question that's on the screen is for nurses, do we need degree or diploma is enough? I think so. There is either a 4-year degree or a 3-year diploma is also good enough. So if you are GNM, it will go through, and you can apply for a registered nurse job if you have a diploma that you have done for about 3 years.
Okay, great. So I believe most of the questions right now pertaining to examination, sir, has already answered. So I'd like to get your attention to one specific question coming from Shamix. Shamix is asking that I'm from Uganda, and is it possible for me also to go to UK?
So I think one has to be very clear about what does UK, so as per WHO guidelines, I think Uganda is on the red list countries. Now, red list countries do not mean they are bad countries. That means that the healthcare index is little lower in that country, which means, again, in simple plain English, it means that there aren't enough nurses per 1,000 people in these countries. And that's why UK will not prefer to hire nurses from red list countries as prescribed by WHO. To the best of my knowledge, Uganda is on negative list. Unfortunately, it'll be difficult to have you join UK from Uganda.
Okay, that answers your question, Shamik, I hope. And if you have any further queries, please feel free to type in. So Sangeeta sir says that she's already completed UKVI general training. So Sangeeta, I think sir has already covered that in case you've already given your UKVI exam. And if you're meeting the score requirements as he has mentioned already, then I think you do get eligible. You can contact Team Nursify and we can look at what are the documentations will be required to help you move there. So do get in touch with the team. We'll leave you with the details in the chat box. So we have a specific query coming from one of our audience, probably is saying that, you know, he's a student and he's completed his class 12th quite a long time back and has taken a long gap due to health issues and wants to now apply for a student visa. Would you have some inputs for such a person as well?
Yeah, it depends on when you have completed class 12. If it is maybe a couple of years, maybe 2 years, you should be fine. But if it's beyond 2 years gap, then it will be probably difficult to apply for undergrad. But maybe why don't you, with your specific question, maybe you should write to us and we can get back to you.
Great. So Abhishek, you received a response because of the fact that clearly there's a longer gap. You have completed your class 12th in 2003. So we would love to see, you know, what are your details from 2003 to now. All those details will have to be shared with the team for the team to know, you know, if we can help you fit in for a student visa and guide you on that. So please share your details and I'll leave you with the team's details on the chat box and you can contact. So we have another one. Harshani says, for nurses, do we need a degree? Isn't it a 3-year is a 3-year diploma enough? Have you clarified on that, sir?
Yeah, so just clarified that I think, as I said earlier, that it could be either degree, which is BSc, or diploma, GNM. I think that should be fine.
Okay, great. That I think we have already clarified most of your questions, but I'll still take up one or two unique queries. There is Senarth mentioning UK NARIC certificate. Yeah.
So if you are applying for registered nurse, UK NARIC certificate does not apply for nurses. So there are two. Let me explain this English proficiency requirement for visa and for Nursing and Midwifery Council for being a registered nurse. So visa, which is done by Home Department, will accept UK NARIC and will accept you know, a lesser IELTS score as well. However, when you want to become a registered nurse, you have to register for Nursing and Midwifery Council certification or registration. And they require a minimum of IELTS band 7, and they do not accept UK NARIC certification. So in simple words, if you want to work as a registered nurse, UK NARIC will not be accepted. If you want to work as a care home, UK NARIC will be fine.
Okay, great. I believe that gives you the clarity. If you have another further question, you can definitely text us again, Sarnath. In the meanwhile, so I'd like to take up another one. Methuki is saying that I have 5.5 academic, can't apply any position. So that could be 5.5 in IELTS, Methuki. We are not sure if you have given IELTS. That's why you're mentioning your 5.5 score. Would a 5.5 help a nurse survive if given IELTS academic, so?
Care home. I don't think you will go to registered nurse. If you want to work as a registered nurse, so let me, because there are a lot of questions around IELTS. So let me maybe add one more perspective. If you are a registered nurse in your home country, have worked in medical, surgical, or any department, I would suggest, and if you do not have a required IELTS score of 7, in that case, you can work in any, you can go to any English-speaking country, so Australia, New Zealand, um, UK, as a care home worker. Okay, if you work there for 1 year, then you do not have to apply for, you do not have to appear for IELTS 7. You don't have to appear for IELTS again, and you don't require to take IELTS exam if you work in any English-speaking country for more than a year. Again, please listen carefully. You have to be a registered nurse in your home country. You can't be a care home worker in your home country. So if you're a registered nurse in your home country, and if you go to UK as a care home worker, because you haven't met the IELTS requirement, you can work there for 1 year. And once you complete 1 year, you do not need to appear for IELTS because you worked in an English-speaking country. And then you can, after 1 year, you can move to hospital as a registered nurse. So hope this kind of put a lot of questions to rest. Unless you have IELTS 7 or OET Band B requirement, you can't move to UK as a registered nurse. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's plenty clear, and definitely a lot of questions get answered with that. We have one more from Gagandeep Singh. So he's saying that if I'm not eligible for a registered nurse position, can I be applying for a senior care? The senior care is the care home that you are suggesting?
That's what said, senior healthcare assistant or healthcare assistant, you can go, yes.
All right, great. Okay, I think all those who are texting that they've got a 4 or a 4.5 in UKVI IELTS, I believe your questions, your queries have already been answered. That yes, for care home that works, but not for getting a registered nurse position. And okay, which training programs? Okay, Richa has a query on training programs. Richa, we will definitely settle that down. So Richa, if you, and for others who have joined in late and probably missed that part, we have our associates eAgeTutor who help you train for IELTS and OET exam. So those of you who have joined in today and you feel that you haven't cleared your examinations, you've tried and you're unable to get them through, contact us on the numbers which are there in the chat. You'll have to scroll a little and you'll find them. Go ahead and connect with our eAgeTutor team, and they'll be happy to share a program that will be suitable for you according to your requirement. We prefer the mode of doing a diagnostic test, checking where is your level today and where do you need the intervention, and our team, eAge team, will be able to guide you as to what is suitable for you. So all the exam related, training program related queries, we will explain you. Our counselor will get in touch with you and explain you one-on-one as to what is suitable for you. And those who are from the healthcare segment and are those nurses who are joining us today, we have Nursify's contact number also available and email ID also available in the chat box. Go ahead and send across your queries, your documents, your CVs to us. We will have to analyze it, and yet again, the Nursify counselor is going to get in touch with you and settle any other queries that you may have. Okay, so we have another specific question. Is there an age limit when it comes to UK immigration? Priyanta, if I believe we always, those who are posting us queries, please mention, are you from a healthcare background? Because I'm sure then Chandra will give you a separate input specifically. And in case you're from any other profession, do let us know that. Yes, sir. Any limitations from age limit perspective?
Yeah, so I think if you look at the any profession, healthcare, non-healthcare sector, typically for healthcare, because it's in demand, I would say typically 21 to 50, although there's no stated age limit because they don't discriminate against any age, gender, age or gender. So I think age is no bar, and typically anybody would, get a job. However, if you are above 50, I think the chances of getting a job are a little less, like in any other country as well. chances of getting visa is a little difficult. You know, but I think up to 50, you're pretty safe to go. There was another question around engineers. So I think engineers would also need to follow a similar process, that they have to get a certificate of sponsorship from their employer. So process is exactly the same. You need a sponsor employer, whether it is a private organization or whether it is a non-healthcare organization or a healthcare organization. You need a certificate of sponsorship. And let me tell you that getting sponsorship for healthcare is much, much easier and faster in UK than you would see in other professions. Let me tell you, UK is going through one of the major downturn in the economy, and other jobs are not so easy to come by. But the healthcare professionals do not have to worry. Healthcare professionals, visas are very, very fast, irrespective of what you hear in the process, in the press, irrespective of what you hear in the headlines. The healthcare professionals are counted under skills shortage visa, and the COS and the visa process is absolutely super fast.
Great. I think that should excite the healthcare professionals, definitely. And for those engineering background students who have logged in with us, Dhanraj and others, I think Sir has made that pretty clear. Your COS is mandatory. So decide your route, and he's given you the other options as well. So please follow through accordingly. Otherwise, get in touch with our team, and we will be happy to guide you one-on-one. So we have a specific question. This looks like from a healthcare professional, Asham Ole PK, and is asking, in WSL, Asham has scored a B, but in reading, he has scored a C. I think this is OAT score. So he's asking, can he do a clubbing?
So clubbing is typically done for 2 exams. So I'm not sure what your question is. For clubbing, you have to appear for 2 exams within a span of no more than a year. And only then clubbing is possible. So I'm not entirely sure about your question, to be frank with you. But if you, in a single attempt, if you just scored C in writing, next time, if you want to club for 2 attempts to be counted, then you have to appear for C plus. Sorry, you need to get C plus in the second attempt. But if you just have given 1 attempt and you got C, I'm sorry to disappoint you that you won't get through.
Okay, I believe you have your answer. Today, I'll definitely mention once again to all of you, we have a mixed crowd attending this webinar today. So there are quite a few who are, some are engineers, some are teachers, some are healthcare professionals. So we would love to answer all your queries. Sir has a decent idea about anything and everything. So specifically mention which profession related, and if you are a student that you're asking this question, it gives us more clarity and we'll be able to answer pertinently. All right, so is there any other query that I'm missing? Let me just go through the list. Okay, so Sangeeta still says, I completed my all documents with my UK VA general training along with my medical test, as I'm a registered nurse now. I want to apply in home care. Is there a possibility? I believe that has already been addressed. Yes, sir, if you'd like to add. Yeah.
No, I think I've already covered it. So please register on nursify.co.uk and upload your documents. One of our recruitment consultants will get back to you.
Great. And those who are already connected with our team, in case you haven't heard any further, you have any further query, I have instructed my team, Luchman and others, my team will just get in touch and will go ahead and complete the documentation with you. So please coordinate with the team and it'll be easier for you to get the clarity. So going back to certain questions that are often asked about UK, and if I may just touch base more on the healthcare. There is a tiff that people have between healthcare professionals who are going to UK. Are they supposed to go for NHS or whether they should be going for a private healthcare setup? Which one would you suggest if you can guide the healthcare professionals who have joined in today?
Sorry, Sakshi, I couldn't hear your question very well. Could you please repeat?
Okay. Yes, sir. Since quite a few healthcare professionals have also joined in today, I would want you to share a little insight on the dilemma that they have, whether it is NHS, which is the right place for them to be working, or whether it is a private healthcare sector who's recruiting excessively and which is a better suit today for them.
Yeah, so I think for the healthcare professionals, I know many of you have heard about NHS, and that's very popular. However, where my personal opinion is that, so in UK, you got these private hospitals, which are about 5 hospital groups who are available in UK, who operate in UK, and then this big giant called NHS. And most of you, I'm sure, have heard about NHS. Typically, if I were to make a choice, if I'm a nurse from emerging markets like India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, or wherever, Philippines, I would personally choose a good private hospital because of a couple of reasons. Number one, the salary levels are typically higher in private hospitals versus NHS, about 10% higher. Number two, the work-life balance in private hospital is much, much better. In NHS, because a common man or common person is coming there, it's usually very, very stretched with long queues, and hence as a nurse, you need to work for longer hours. So lesser pay, longer hours, more stress, and you just become part of a bigger ecosystem, and you're just a checkbox, meaning that, for promotion, they'll follow respective norms, and you may get promotion as per the rule only after 5 years, right? Now, if I look at private hospitals, pay is better. If you are really damn good, and you have the relevant experience, you'll start at the same level as everybody else. But post the licensure training, which is OSCE in UK, you can command at least 10 to 30% pay hike from where you start. Number one. Number two, the work-life balance is very, very different. You only work 37.5 hours a week, and unless you want to do overtime, you are not required to work extra hours. And for example, if you ever get into 12-hour shift for 3 days, then you enjoy your holiday for the remaining 4 days of the week. So the work-life balance is very, very good in private hospital. Number three, you'll be working with very, very senior consultants in, if you're working with private hospital. And last but not the least, I think the kind of patients you deal with are very affluent and few in numbers, meaning those patients who can only afford private health are able to afford a higher cost of health, will go to private hospital because you end up paying a lot of money. Yeah. So And one more point, sorry, I forgot, I would like to add is the career growth and the continuing medical education support is much better in the private hospital. So some of the largest clients we work with is Circle Health Group, Ramsay. They are one of the top most, world-class healthcare organizations across the world. Ramsay, for example, is a $20 billion corporation. And they even have offices in Australia or hospitals in Australia, Singapore, I think other parts of Southeast Asia, Hong Kong, and of course UK. Circle Health is very big in UK, of course, and they are very, very big in China as an idea. So I think what we're talking about are very stable, large private employers who will pay you well, will have a better work-life balance, will take care of you. And last but not the least, I think the career development opportunities are much, much higher. So without doubt, my vote goes for the private hospitals. And we have placed thousands of nurses already in UK. And every time I speak to them, those who have gone to private hospitals, they speak very highly of the group that they work for, and of course are sending flowers to us.
That's great. That's very much reassuring. I believe if anyone who's following the webinar since beginning, you would have got an idea. As I've been reiterating, we have a mixed crowd today. Team Nursify, if you will go to our website, you'll get to know we are into healthcare space in specific, right? So we are extensively hiring for bigger organizations in UK and Dubai and Canada. In the healthcare segment, we are providing direct placement to a lot of people who are qualifying according to their paperwork. And those young students and all who have joined us today, we have already guided. You are contacting us on our eAgeTutor contact details, which are given in the chat box. We will be happy to assist you, study a broad perspective, settle your queries. If there are any specific colleges you want to go for, or do you have any other specific requirements? As I said, training for IELTS and all to clear your English level exam, eAgeTutor will help you provide that. So you can either post a direct query if you still have. We can get that addressed immediately. Otherwise, get in touch with our team. Contact details are available, and we will be happy to help you with that. Just adding, if you're all following your chat boxes, those who are struggling with their exam prep, there is something already also available. There is an app called simplyenglish.ai. You have that app available on Play Store. It is a gift for you from Team Nursify and eAge. It assists you in, resolving your queries around these examinations. It helps you practice for these examinations. If you're struggling with your language skills and you're, whether you're a healthcare professional or a student or an engineer, whoever, or a salesperson who has joined us today, if you're struggling with your language building, you can use the app and it should help. And the team's details are in which ways available. So I believe there are a few questions from people who are into sales profession and other professionals also inquiring, whether or not I can get a job there. As Sir has already cleared, you need your sponsorship, right? And apart from that, you need to clear your English level exam. He's already clarified the criteria for the same. So do send us your paperwork. We would love to see what all have you cleared out of this. Is your examination cleared or not? What is your current profile? And are you willing to go as a student, or are you looking to go for an entrepreneur or any other route? We could see what guidance we could provide you. Now, apart from the questions that we've already addressed, so we have some specific queries around what if a person wants to move with their family or with their spouse. So how does the process work for bringing in the family members to UK?
Yeah, before I go there, I just wanted to add one point on the sales question.
Sure.
So I think the person who asked the question may not like the answer, but I'd rather be upfront. I think if you're working in sales, you're better off not going to UK unless you are going there for studies. If you're going for studies,
Huh?
contributing to their economy, please go ahead. You know, please go ahead. But if you are, because as I said, most of the jobs, given the economy is very, very bad at this point in time, you will not qualify. But if you are in healthcare, nurse, doctor, I think, or by the way, in finance job, in the investment banking, you probably will get a better option. Coming to this question around the families, so I think once you get the COS, that is given for the whole family, and it's a very family-friendly place. So first of all, your healthcare is free, your education, if you have kids, the kids' education is free, and the visa, the sponsorship and the visa for family is automatically covered by the hospital or the organization who is hiring you. Okay, so I wouldn't worry too much about taking my family along, because UK is very, very supportive of the family visas. So short answer, you'll get it very fast.
That's great, sir. So that's also sorted and out of your way. Now, sir, in specific about permanent residency and citizenship, what is the pathway to obtaining the PR in UK today?
Yeah. So I think those of you who are working in the countries outside your home country, which is, so let's say, there are Indians and Sri Lankans or any other nationality working in UAE, for example, you will not get any citizenship so quickly. Or actually, there's no provision of citizenship in UAE, to the best of my knowledge. But for UK, I think usually if you are looking for the PR in UK, you work for 3 years. So the first job that you're going to get is on a 3-year contract, plus that can be extended by another 2 years, provided you are a good performer. And after 5 years, you are, you're good to go to, you're good to apply for PR. So the path to PR is 3 years of initial working plus 2 years of additional work. And after 5 years, you can get the PR. So that's the path. And most of the cases, if you're a healthcare professional performing well, you will get it. Yeah. Those of you who are, so although today's topic is UK, but if those of you who are wanting a quicker PR, then the destination for you is either Australia or Canada. But let me tell you, the immigration requirements are very, very onerous in these two countries. It's not as fast as UK.
Okay. I believe that settles quite a few queries too. But sir, there is something called the Brexit impact when we are talking about UK immigration. How does the Brexit really affect the immigration landscape in UK?
Yeah, so I think Brexit happened long ago, 3-4 years ago, and I think one of the major benefits of Brexit for a lot of the nurses, a lot of the students, was that so Brexit means they actually exited out of a European Union group, if I may call it that way. So a lot of Europeans, because of Brexit, they went back to their home countries, which meant that in UK, there were a lot of jobs that were created. There were a lot of vacancies available. So people were getting jobs easily. However, the current economics environment in the UK, yeah, it's not that bad, but I would say, Brexit has helped create a lot more jobs. My hunch is that if the Brexit would not have happened, probably the situation in UK would have been, lot more grim than what it is today.
All right. Okay. So, from in the healthcare space, definitely Team Nursify has some clear opportunities open. So quite a few of the healthcare people who are joined in can easily still hop on and get to UK into their desired job. From the perspective of those prospective immigrants who are trying to move to UK, are there some common mistakes or pitfalls you'd like to make them aware of? Things where they can go wrong when they are planning to approach for UK immigration?
Yeah, I think what I would say is, the best way to deal with any immigration, and particularly with UK, is keep your documentation right. Keep your documentation in place. Certainly for the healthcare jobs, or for any job for that matter, we have processed more than 2,000 visa application by now, and I think it's make sure you have your checklist in place, which means if you're going for a nurse job, make sure your diploma, certificates, and the degree etc. are in place. Your nursing council registration is in place. The license has not expired. The IELTS score is valid. Many people, so the IELTS score is valid for 2 years after you appear for exam. I think many people forget that validity and they apply for jobs after it has expired. So be careful on that. The other thing is, make sure your records are clean. Typically, when I say records are clean, meaning, make sure there is no gaps in your resume. You have been continuously working, and if there are gaps, then you're able to explain those gaps. In certain times, you need to make sure that you can get the financial support. So in this case, the employer will support you. But if you write something where, you aren't able to prove your financial independence, or have not earned any money to even book a ticket, then I think you will be in a bit of a troubling situation. As long as you meet the prerequisite criteria, it will be a smooth sail. And one of the major requirements is your clean health record, and mostly a TB test. So mostly emerging markets, if you smoke or if you're living in conditions where tuberculosis is prevalent, then I think you have to be very, because it's a contagious disease, right? So you have to make sure that your records are clean. We have seen many nurses who have waited for 6 months to 12 months because the TB record was not very clean, unfortunately. But I think long and short, if you keep your documentation in order and keep your healthcare records clean, healthcare, police verification about your character, your references, if those are clean, I think you will not have any issues. But what I meant by clean is, so for example, when you appear for, so get your TB test done before you even apply for a job. Get your police verification done before you apply for a job, because they're looking at all these due diligences before they can offer you a job. So have as much documentation as possible and avoid pitfalls like a bad health report or a bad character report.
Great. So these are some of those things that he's already alerting you on. So I hope all of you have made a note of that plenty well. But those who are still having queries can get in touch with our team. We have another one. Renuka says, does the degree is compulsory for nursing? Renuka, the educational qualification which is required, sir, has already thrown a little light. In case you've joined in late, sir, could you cover that once again for her?
Yeah, so for the education qualification required for any nursing job is a BSc degree and or BSc, degree or diploma. So degree is usually 4 years and diploma is roughly about 3 years. So either of the two would suffice. I think there's a lot of questions around immigration, a lot of questions around what is required for visa. One topic which probably is underrated, but is very, very important is your communication skills, right? So even though you have an IELTS exam cleared, you need to be able to communicate clearly to pass any job interview. And many people make that mistake. It's not part of any documentation, but your ability to communicate well during the interview with confidence is very, very important. Many people struggle. So before you even go for interview, I strongly recommend you prepare well. If you need any assistance, of course, our partner organization worldwide is eAge Tutor. In Sri Lanka, if you're doing, we have LNM Academy, who can be available to do the face-to-face classes. So reach out to them, be prepared, because if you are prepared, I think you will be able to go through very, very easily. And as we said, we already have a Simply English app. Use that. Trust me, if you can put your best foot forward in the interview, including the communication, your chances of selection and boarding a plane to UK are much, much higher.
Superb. With that clarity, I hope everyone has got their questions answered. There are some who have got study abroad queries, contact eAge team. You're a healthcare worker, contact the Demistify team. You're still preparing and struggling with your exams, or you are not confident with your language skills, or interview is seeming like a stuck-up situation, then please use Simply English app and get in touch with the eAge team. Get to know which is the right training program for you and get enrolled and clear it. We have a legacy, our partners eAge team has a legacy of quite a few students who have been trained, prepared, and got their desired score. And they have also helped a lot of students to go abroad into their respective colleges and grow in their respective fields. However, Team Nursify and specifically is going to help all the healthcare professionals who are connecting with us today. So if you're looking for opportunities, whether in Dubai or Sri Lanka or Canada or UK, you are getting in touch with us. Your documentation should be in place, as sir has already made plenty clear what all you should be aware of. And yes, please go ahead and get in touch with our team. We will be happy to assist you. And those who are requesting for recording of the meeting, be rest assured this is going to be sent out to you on your email IDs, and you can make a note of all the details once again. Are there any other specific questions? Yes, I have one more, sir, from Thasara. Thasara is asking, NMC CBT exam dates are not available in Sri Lanka till the end of 2024. So what solution can we get?
Let me check. So I'll get the team to check on this and get back to you. To the best of my knowledge, the CBT exam is online. And of course, you have to appear for this thing. Those who don't get a space in Sri Lanka, you're welcome to India. We'll help book it for you. Or Nepal will help to book it for you. I know it's a bit of a travel for you for CBT, but definitely that option is available. So I was not aware of these dates for not being available in Sri Lanka, but we'll ask the team to check and come back to you, and we can recommend a suitable center. As I said, the flight to Colombo to Delhi is only about 3 hours. If you like to come to India, the team will be very happy to arrange that as well.
Great. I believe that does answer Thasra's question. So there's one more query. Someone's asked that, what all are the services that the team Nursify really provides to healthcare professionals to immigrate to UK?
Yeah, so we are a health tech platform um, which will match make or connect you to a right organization. And so we provide services right from screening, filtering, uh, to all the way up to the final selection and your landing in UK, including accommodation. So we'll provide resume writing, interview skills training, preparation for the exams, NMC and CBT registration. All of that is provided. And once you have cleared the interview, we will help you get the visa. We'll help you prepare for the cultural training, how to deal with your colleagues and citizens of UK. So the cultural training provided, and all across the world, we have partners who can help you with documentation. And so Nursify team will take care of your needs right from the interview and screening process to all the way up to accommodation, including visa, hand-holding you in interview process, trainings, and want to make sure that you can get to UK as quickly and as safely as possible. Yeah, that's the list of services. If you still have any questions, feel free to write to us at hello@Nursify or talk to our recruitment specialist whom you can contact through a Nursify WhatsApp page.
Great. I believe with that, we come towards the end of our webinar today. I believe. Thank you so much, Andasa, for answering all the questions possible. And from Team Nursify and Team eAge side, we thank you all for being there. If you still have any queries, the contact details are already shared in the chat box. Go ahead, get in touch with us, and we'll be able to assist you in whichever area that you need a little hand holding. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.